Hello, hello. Surprise live. I am going to fix one of my toppers since I'm going to be in the hot weather down in Florida. And I am also going to move clips on one of my toppers. I'm going to fix the wonky bang on this one, and I'm going to turn a full wig into a topper so that I can also wear what is my favorite, but again, wearing out. So a bunch of stuff for you guys to see today as far as this stuff goes. So usually you see me standing up, but I'm sitting down today. So this is this wig that I've been wearing up, my main attraction one. This is the one I'll turn into a wig, but I'm going to do that one kind of last. So I wanted to kind of show you guys because my topper that I got from Estetica, I've worn it and worn it and worn it, and it's a little bit frizzy. I don't know if you can see. It's getting a little frizzy and a little crunchy. So I'm going to, good morning, Trish. I'm going to use my Hot Tools plastic hot air brush just to kind of smooth through some of these fibers so I can wear it while I'm on vacation. Then on this, whoops, that's not the right one. What did I do with it? Oh, dirt's on my head. So the one I'm rejuvenating the fibers on is the Mono Wiglet 513. I'm going to pull this up on the web page so you guys can see which ones I'm doing. Sorry, this was kind of a throw together last minute just because I had to do it for the trip. So I just dropped the link for this one in the comments. It's posting now. So this is the Mono Wiglet 513. This is the color 1426. And then I also have the Mono Wiglet 413. I might have just confused those. My apologies. So the first one is the 513. The one I'm wearing on my head right now that needs a little bit of tweaking because it's like fresh out of the clearance section. And I'm going to tweak it and use it for vacation. This one is the 413. So this one, the major differences in the two is that is a full mono top lace front. And the Mono Wiglet I have on has like a mini lace front. Let me take this off and show you. This one has like a mini lace front. The clips aren't where I need them. It's just like a little mini lace with the left mono part. So they're both the same color, but this full mono top has waves in it, and the 413 is straight. They're just about the same length, but the clips on this one are way too far down for me. I have to have them moved up and in a little bit, so I'm going to do that as well. So you guys get to see a bunch of things. So when you're deciding on doing clips on your toppers, you can purchase them on Amazon. You can purchase them at fabric stores. So we've got the small ones, and then we've got medium ones. So you can see these are like snap clips, and it has holes where you can stitch through. So you can move the ones you already have on a topper, or you can add them, which is, I'm going to kind of do both today. And I'm also going to do a quick refresh on this one. So let's start with the quick refresh. So I have my bamboo silicone conditioner in with water, right? And I just kind of spray it so it's wet on all the areas that need refurbishing. And I have this on a wig stand so that I can move it around. So I'm really getting them like wet, wet. It was really getting frizzy, and you can feel the texture getting rough. I could do steam, but I wanted to just see if I could do like a gentle refresh on this one. So I'm going to put it on high because I'm limited on time. So hopefully you can still hear me. So I'm just going to do pieces at a time. And I'm going to keep curving it the way that it's already flipping, so I can keep that wave, right? See that? Because I don't want to take the wave out. So I'm just kind of putting it through. We'll bring it a little closer. So I'm just going with the wave that's already there so that I don't take out the curl. But I just want to get rid of some of the crunchy frizzies, and that's definitely working to do that. The ends on this are a little more frizzy, so I'll just go back, kind of curl it through, let the heat do its job. Just turning, and it's refreshing. I'm just doing little pieces at a time because you want the heat to get to all the fibers on this. So see how it's kind of refreshing the curl? So I'm pulling it through and turning it and just letting the heat kind of refresh the curl. Little sections at a time. So I'm starting at the top of the curl. And I'm just holding the bottom piece around. And then when I get to the bottom part, I twist it through a couple of times. Just be careful you don't get it knotted up. And it cools on the curl. It sets on the cool. So heat, pull it through, kind of twist to let it get the wave back. And I won't completely finish this while I'm on because it'll take a little while, and I don't want you guys to just watch this in real time as I sit here for 20 minutes trying to refresh, right? I just wanted to give you guys a general idea of how I do this. And it's mostly the ends. So that's the part that I'm focusing on the most. And I did comb through this with conditioner earlier to get out all of the knots on the end. So right about here, the curl pattern changes because this is going to be the last section on the middle of the head, and then the curl is going to change direction. So I'll have to switch on the other side, right? Because we don't want to curl it in the wrong direction. It'll look kind of funny. So I'm just going to keep going around, but you can kind of see that this is like crunchy over here. And this side that I just did is like looking more fresh, right? So that is how I refresh my topper. That's the one I have to do. So I'm going to show you on the inside of my topper where I have changed where I put the clips. Sorry. Yeah, you can see my hair loss really well when I bend over like that. Sorry. So here is the Mono Wiglet 513 by Aesthetica Designs. So this one has the full mono top, and these clips right here used to be right here. But because of the type of hair loss I have, those were way too far down. I have more hair on the top than I do on any of the other areas. That is the first time I've seen anyone do that and keep the curl or the wave. So yeah, you just got to kind of be careful with how you're doing it because it can straighten it. You know what I mean? You want to be able to just kind of hold it, pull it through the bottom, and sometimes you might have to like lift the curl up to keep the wave. It's a little tricky and it takes a little bit of practice, but as you can see, I did manage to keep some of the wave. I lost a little bit on the upper part, but that's totally fine. I'm probably going to wear this one part up anyway. So you can see that over here, it's still like I've brushed through it so many times that the wave is kind of losing over there. And over here, it looks like a little more wavy, like set. So that's the goal, is to make the whole thing look similar to this. And then when it's dry, I'll put in the dry shampoo to texturize and give it a little fullness. And then I'll decide if I can wear it down or not. Because obviously I need full coverage in the back, right? So again, I had to move my clips for my own needs. So you can move clips on toppers. You just have to figure out if it's going to work for you. So when I do this one, these are moved. These were where they normally were because I have enough here to clip these onto. You can move these too if you need to. So obviously I'm not done refreshing it, but you can see my hair loss is like right near there. Oh my Lord, every time I go live, I swear, stuff happens and I'm like, I can't answer you right now. So I could move these if I start getting like any of that, any of where like you get the traction sometimes with the clips will cause some hair loss, but it's not going to be any worse than the hair loss I already suffer from. So this is just a general throw on, and then I would put a little piece of Walker's blue tape right there. Now I have worn toppers without any clips, and I've just used blue tape along the front line, and then I put a headband on, and it stays on my head perfectly fine. If I start getting hair loss towards the lower part of my head, I would also use this to tape it down. I would just tape the whole perimeter, right? So you can see that I have a lot of hair loss. But once I'm finished with this and I've dry shampooed and everything, it will give me pretty good coverage back there, right? And then I'll style this a little bit nicer and it'll be forward a little bit more because it needs to be like 4 fingers. So placement will be right about there. And usually I start with the piece of tape to tape it down first. That way there I know where it's going to sit on my head. And then when it's dry, the wave will be a little bit nicer too. So I'm going to show you how I move the clips and how I style up the next one. And then I'm going to show you how I turn the wig into a topper. So sorry to the people that are messaging me. I can't respond right now. So here is the base again on the one that I need to move the clips. The clips are in the same spot on this one that they were on the other one. So how I figure out where I need to put clips is I put this on at my hairline, right, where I need it to be, and then I kind of feel underneath for the space that I need the clips to be. So I need to move the clips to right here. Right here. So see where the clips are over here? I need to move them back and up to this section here. So you could use a couple of different pairs of scissors. Sorry about my hair sticking up. I look like a crazy bird. So Dollar Tree has these pretty sharp, small scissors that I buy in bulk because I lose them all over the place. And then your sewing kits have these. So I'm going to get close with the topper so you can see what I'm doing here. So I close the clips so that the hair doesn't get all caught up in them. So if I'm not wearing it, I pull the hair out of the clips because sometimes it gets stuck, and I close the clips because see, the clip is open, the hair gets stuck on it, it gets all tangled, it turns into a mess. So when I'm not wearing them, I close those. So you can see right there that the clip is attached. I just kind of go under the edge and I snip just where that is. I try not to snip the cap. I just want to snip where the, I just want to snip where the, where the thread is attached. Whoops, sorry. So see that? I just clipped it, and I'm going to do the same on this one. And again, towards the front, you have to watch out for the hair. So I just kind of go right in there, and I try and clip just that little piece of thread on both sides. Sometimes you have to just finagle a little bit to get it. Takes a little finesse, but you'll get there. And if you end up snipping a little piece of hair or two, no big deal. So there's the clip. I did not damage the cap at all. You can just see the thread sticking out from where it was. You can just snip those off because you're not going to need them. Sometimes they just pull right out where the thread is. Other times it's kind of stuck there and you just snip a little bit. Of course, I dropped the clip. All right. Yes, a seam ripper, you can also use those. I couldn't put my hands on mine, so I said, skip it. So I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, where I just bring the scissors in. Seam splitter is definitely easier because those are super ultra thin, but your small scissors will work in a pinch. Like I said, I couldn't put my hands on mine in the midst of packing and trying to do everything I needed to do today. I was like, all right, let's just go on and do this. So I also pre-threaded a bunch of needles to make it easier so you guys wouldn't have to sit here watching me thread needles, because that's ridiculous, right? So I just use a light colored thread with a really thin needle. I do the string somewhat long just so I can go through like 2 clips at once. You knot your string. No one's going to see it, so you don't have to be overly, you know, oh my God, it's going to be perfect. It doesn't really. No one's ever going to see it. So here is where I was putting my clip. So I face it so that the rubber piece is down. You don't want to go through the mono top or the lace part. So just like that. And I'm just going to go through and stitch this in. It's pretty easy to do this part. I'm just pushing through the lace parts on the cap and pulling the string to secure. You don't want it to be loose in there. You want it to be fairly tight. I just go back and forth through the 2. And then when you get to the back again, I gotta turn this. When I get to the back side again, I push it through the back hole, or the top hole, I should say, because there are 3 holes. I go through 2. So I put that through there, and then I put the string underneath, and then go over to the other side to go through the top hole over there. And I know it may not make sense. Yeah, it's just regular sewing thread. I mean, you could use the invisible thread, but it's really not necessary because you're not going to see this at all. And of course, it could be like if you have skin sensitivity or whatever, you might have to use like a different type of thread. But whatever works for you. I've just used various, like, hey, the Dollar Tree, you know, needle and thread, or Stop and Shop needle and thread. Any kind of thread does fine. And then on the last one, you just tie it off a couple of times to make sure that it stays secure. And I just go through it a few times just to knot it. Now, I didn't cut it off in between each because, again, not really necessary to do that. You just want to make sure your knot at the end is pretty secure. Cut the thread. And you can see, like, it looks like a hot mess, but don't worry about it. No one is ever going to see any of this. It's just to be able to clip it on there. Button thread would be great as it is waxed and stronger. I'm not, I'm just a generic threader. I'm not a like seamstress. I don't know a lot about different threads or fabrics. I am just someone trying to make things work with what I have, you know? And I'm frugal, so ugh. All right, I think this one is threaded. So I'm going to do the same thing with the other clip on the other side. So again, you want to make sure that the clip is facing the right direction. So rubber side down, and depending on your needs, you could put this clip either facing up or facing down, right? I do mine. Oh, I think I did that one backwards. I'm supposed to do it up. That's all right. I'll fix it later. So again, I know where my placement is because I had measured it earlier. So we're just going to thread this one through as well. I do it like a couple of times through each of the little clip holes. And I'm using, on this particular one, I'm using this weft line here. And then the clip kind of matches up with where the wefts go down. So I'm also using that for the thread to go through. Jeez. It's like slipping through my fingers because I had only stitched the first hole. So I know this is like boring watching me thread through these, but, and I mean, if you feel that you would be more comfortable and more secure if you knot off each one as you go, you can definitely do that. And that's, I think, how they do it when they actually make the toppers, is they just loop it through once, they tie it off, they go to the next hole, they don't cut it. And again, you could just kind of go underneath the clip on one side to push it through to the other side and knot it off. Boom. Do the other side. Oops, I didn't go through the hole. Ah. Sometimes I make mistakes. I'm human. So I'm just stitching through this a couple of times, and then I'm going to tie it off a couple of times. So that one long piece of thread, I was able to do 2 clips, which is all I needed to move. But I prepared a bunch just in case, because I knew I was doing more than one topper, and I might have to adjust the ones on the other side. So I snipped the extra thread off, and then one is backwards, but that's okay. So I moved the clips to here, right? They're further back from the front, and that's why I use the tape, so I can tape down the front, because I don't have enough hair here to tape anything to. It's receding middle and sides. So I put the topper on, right? Normally I'd have a piece of tape right there. And this is to test to see if I've got the clips where I need them. I think I did one up and one down. Definitely need to switch that one to the other side. And then I clip the back. And the topper is secure now. It's not going anywhere, right? So this one has a bit of shine. I'm gonna move my coffee because I don't want to spray dry shampoo on my coffee. So a little bit of shine. So I'm just using some dry shampoo. It gives it texture and volume when you use dry shampoo. So see how it kind of volumized? That's what you want, right? Especially if you don't have much hair and you're trying to get a topper to be able to wear a topper. So now this one, I could put a headband on, I can ear tuck, I could put it in a little pony in the back, which is usually how I wear it when I'm on vacation. Or I will do it in a twist. So I make sure I have coverage right over my ears and near my ears so that you can't see. Put a little clip in at the base, and then I usually twist it out. This is a good way to wear it when I am going poolside or whatever. And I'm going to use the the hot tools to kind of curl my bangs properly because I don't like the bangs like this. So I'll just do this real quick and then we'll switch to how to make a topper. So I'm using my fingers to just kind of twist the bangs down because you saw they were kind of wonky. And I don't want them to be wonky. I want them to kind of curl a little bit. So see how it's kind of adding that little bump towards the front? That's what I want, right? And it always helps to do this while they're wet with the conditioner. And then these. A little face framing. See how nice that did? Thanks, Trish. And again, it takes a little bit of practice, right? And you got to use what works for you to make it you, right? Because you don't want to be me, you want to be you. And then for the top, I would probably just give this just a little bit of height up there. I still want my bangs on this particular one, but some of this, I want it to bump back a little bit. So I just separate it. It's still a little damp, so that's good. And I have this on high, and then just let it dry or let it cool, right? It's not perfect right now because I'm looking in my camera phone instead of, I feel like that's too much hair right there. So normally I'd be doing this in front of a full-length mirror, and as all I have is my laptop and my cell phone, right? But you can, you know, stylize these a little bit better, right? Using the Hot Tools wand. So generally speaking, that's how I would do that. And if I wanted the hair more full, I would just keep playing with it, right? Keep adding product. Hairspray works, like the Pantene Air Spray, to give this more fullness, because as you add product, it's just going to kind of liven it or fluff it up, right? But that's pretty dang good coverage, given I have like no hair under here. None, right? No hair. So again, I could definitely completely ear tuck this and, you know, go out to dinner and it wouldn't look weird or odd, right? So cute. All right. So that's generally speaking how I would do that one. Now for the fun part is turning a wig into a topper. So I have not tried this with like a lace cap wig or any of that. Looks great. Now if there's a tool to get the face wrinkle smooth, right? A blow dryer on your face would be awesome. So this particular one, this is what the inside of the cap looks like. So I always look at this area because I need to make sure that I can put clips in, right? So I want some of the clips back here and I want some of the clips right about there because this is a pretty deep lace front. And it also has, the lace goes further on this one and it's got ear tabs, right? So depending on the coverage I want will depend upon where I cut this wig, but typically I will start cutting here. But how you figure that out is you take the wig. Now this one is currently in a clip, right? I have worn the bejesus out of this one. You can see it's kind of in a little bit of rough shape because I literally just wore it into the ground. So how I figure where I'm going to cut it is I put the wig on, right? I don't want to lose a bunch of length. A little bit of density is fine if I lose it, but this is what it looks like right now, right? You can see that it's kind of in rough shape. But I want the coverage by the ears because of how I'm going to wear this one. So I'm going to leave the ear tabs there, and I'm going to start cutting on the bottom. So what I do is I pull the hair up and I just kind of go around and figure out if where I cut it is going to leave enough hair. So I think for this, I'm probably going to cut, I'm going to leave the back kind of long because I like it longer in the back, and I want to leave some of the density so I can wear it down if I decide to. So here it comes. I'm going to cut it right under the ear tab. So I don't cut the wefting, right? You can see the ear tab right there and the extender. I'm going to cut that off right there. Ba-doom. I cut it. Oh my God, she cut it. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. So you spread where the wefts are and you don't cut through them, right? You kind of cut in between them. So I separated the hair. That's where the ear tab meets the outer section. So I cut those off, right? So here's the nape. I've now kind of cut the section off where the nape is. So to make sure that I'm leaving enough length, it's better to leave more than to take away more because you can't put it back once you cut it, right? So I'm just going to follow this first weft down to where it meets this part right here. So this little section here, I'm just going to cut this right out. Now, I'm still being careful because I don't want to lose a ton of hair, right? So I separate where the weft is, separate it, and I cut along that line. Being careful not to cut too much of the hair, right? So you're kind of separating the hair as you go and just cutting that little weft line right there. I'm just using my fingers to get the hair away from it. And I'm just cutting along that kind of line down to the nape. So see what I did on that part? Here's the other side. I'm going to do the same thing right there. So I'm just cutting right along that line down to the nape. Being careful not to cut too much of the hair. You just want to cut the little weft pieces. Cut, cut. Once you get a little more experience, you can do a couple at a time. Snip, snip, snip. So now we've got this part left, right? I've cut all the way down that line and all the way down that one. Now I'm going to remove the nape piece. So again, you can always take more off later, but once you take it off, you can't put it back. So as all I'm going to do at this stage is I'm going to cut 1, 2, say 3 wefts up where this meets this section right here. So again, same thing. You don't want to cut a bunch of the hair. You just want to cut the weft line. So you cut through that, and I'm just going to follow that across to the other side. So it's just 1 or 2 little weft lines up, and you just follow in a straight line over to the other side. And you completely separate the nape piece. So now that I cut that off, this is what the inside of the cap looks like right now. I left a little bit more in the back because I kind of want some of that fullness to still be there. I'm just going to comb through this. And I'm going to do the same thing with the hot tools. I'm not going to do it on camera, but it needs a little bit of a refresh. because the curl is kind of coming out a little bit. But I wanted to leave some of this density towards the back. So when I put this on, right, I will have clips in the top that are right about here, and then I'll have clips in the back, and I'll have a little piece of Walker's blue tape, which I just had my hands on a minute ago. You guys saw it, right? I put it up. I don't know where I put it. But I will put the Walker's blue tape right past the hairline, and it will stick there really, really well, right? You could just stick it to your skin, and you can see that I left enough density in the back where I could still wear this down and no one would know, right? And once I have it secure, then I can still put it in a clip. And it's much, much cooler, right? And I can play with this, like the amount of hair that I put back. But because I left the ear tabs there, it's got really great coverage, right? Really great coverage. And if you need to, if you don't have sideburns, you can tape the ear tabs down as well, right? Or you could shave your bio side hairs and tape that down. So you could do that. And you could also just put it in a ponytail, right? So generally that's what it is. Super comfortable, like way more comfortable, and it's much cooler. So what you could also do is you could do a running stitch up through some of the wefting to pull it closer together. I might do that up here, but it depends. I'll bring my stitch kit with me and see how well I tolerate the heat down there, because it's very humid right now in Florida, and I'm coming from really dry, cool air in Massachusetts. So when I put my clips in, again, you kind of figure for your own head where it's going to work for you. So you figure out where you have the most hair, and for me, the clips should go right where my thumbs are. Right? So that's what the front looks like, and I'm actually putting the clips way back here. That's why I need that one little piece of tape right there to secure the top down, and it honestly won't move. And if you don't feel comfortable with that, you can, like I said, if you have no bio hair, you can tape it all the way around. You could just bond the heck out of the thing. So I'm going to give this a refresh, but I've also got my new one. I almost missed the chair. And I've got my new one that I haven't styled yet. Still got the tag on and everything. But here's the new one. And I'll take this with me just in case, but I probably won't wear it. I'll probably stick with the toppers. Did I finish what I was going to do? So there was this topper, there was that topper. You guys don't need to see me stitch all of those in, right? Or do you? Do you want to see me stitch them? Ugh. I'm gonna do 2, 3, 4. Oh, some of these are small and some of them are large. There are different size clips as well, so you can determine which ones are going to work the best for you. And I usually use the smaller medium just because my hair is so thin. The big ones are kind of useless and I don't want them ripping out more of my hair. So you can see, like, my hair is grown in, but it's really, really thin, and I'm pretty bald back there, you know? hair's looking rough these days. I don't dye it anymore or anything. This is the color that it is. And I only grew it out because I knew that I was going to be wearing toppers this summer and for our trip. So I take another needle. Speaking of which, I don't know what I did with the other needle. I cut it off and then tossed it. So I'll stab myself with that later. Because that's just my luck. So knot off. And what did I say? We want the clips going down, downward facing for me. Rubber piece against the cap. Is that right? No, I want it going up. What am I talking about? So I want mine going up towards the cap because it's going to hook on my hair this way. So I want those little tines going up. And also when you're doing this, roughen your hair with like hairspray or got to be glued, because clean, like product-free hair is slippery hair. And slippery hair makes it harder for the clips to stick to. Now the tape, for the tape, you want the tape to be adhering to clean hair. So maybe an alcohol wipe and let it dry, makeup-free section on your head. That helps the tape stick. Because if you try and stick it to hair that's like greasy or covered with product, then it's not really going to stick well. So again, I'm just kind of using the wefting sections to be able to push through. I'm just using just the little rubbery part. I'm not going through the hair and stuff, right? Because you don't want your thread to show. And I'm just knotting them off as I go. Couple of knots in here and there. And again, doesn't really matter what color thread or what type of thread. It's whatever you have on hand will work to do this. And as long as it doesn't cause irritation to your scalp, you can stick with any brand, any type. So I'm just knotting this off a couple of times before I snip it. And I also, for in case of emergency, if I'm traveling with toppers, I bring a couple of extra clips with me, and I bring needle and thread with me in case I need to fix one of the clips. Because on a rare occasion, you'll have one that the thread comes undone. But I've only had it happen once. But once was enough to make me say, hey, you know what? I should probably bring some with me. So I bring lots of the Walker's Blue Tape with me. And I bring the needle and thread with me. So I put the clip in, right? Didn't take that long. And that's so I can open it, put it on my head, and clip it, right? So that part is now secure right there. It's not going anywhere on that side, right? I'm like yanking on it and everything. That clip is secure. So I have the Got to Be Glued spray. I always spray it right where I'm putting my clips because that gives it like something to really hang on to, right? Now, once I have another clip over here and then at least one clip in the back, this thing will be secure. I'm probably wearing something similar to this on Haunted Night. You guys should help me figure out if I'm going to wear funky hair, what I should be wearing. Do we think I should be wearing like pink? I think this one's too long and too straight. It washes me out. So probably not my pink lady. I might just go as my normal self, but you never know. I turned my wig into a topper, Karen. The rest of these are wigs, but if I change one of these, I'll be turning it into a topper while I'm away. So I guess I could do purple. Purple looks pretty cool. And like I said, I would turn this into a topper if I was going to wear it. So this video showed how I turned my main attraction, Hollywood, from a wig to a topper. Now I modified it. So that one was the purple one, which I can turn into a topper later. I'm not going to do it now. So if I'm not wearing my normal hair, I might wear one of these turned into a topper. So you guys tell me which one you think I should wear. I'm kind of digging this one. If I turned this one into a topper, it would be pretty great because it has pretty good ear coverage. And I would cut it and leave some of the length. There's like a lot of length on this one, but I probably, if I cut it, it would be more like this. Right? And it would be super comfortable. Oh, you like this one? I like this one too. It has the darker lace, but I would put a little bit of makeup in there and I would cut right along. Like the curls on the peach one and the volume is good, right? I agree. So, because once I take off like the bottom portion, all of this down here would go away. So it would be, it has layers that aren't too full. And I feel like it would be pretty breathable. And this one's like super cute. I like the color and I can dress, you know, accordingly. So I'll probably go with this one. This was my first vibe. When I put it on, I was like, oh my God, turn this one into a topper. So I think this is it. This one has been sitting here for, I don't know, 8-9 months. And I tried to sell it, but no one wanted the salmon color. So I kind of think that this is the girl and I'm just going to make it mine and take it out of inventory. And I'll zhuzh it a little bit. And it's not so crazy that my husband would be embarrassed to be with me. Because God knows he just wants a normal wife. I'm like, sorry, you know me. 20 years we've been together. I'm just not normal. You got what you got. And we got to do our little recommitment ceremony where it's kind of like, yeah, I think I could live with you for another 5 years. So again, that was definitely, you know, the vibe for me was, if I get married again, we have to recommit to each other every 5 years because you have to show up for each other, right? The good, the bad, and the indifferent. You have to show up. And it's a matter of, can you and do you still want to show up? I feel that that's an important thing to do. So I was like, he'll hate it, right? He gets uncomfortable doing anything that is just outside of his everyday. That's just part of his personality. And again, it's like, whatever. So I kind of push him to do all this crazy and fun stuff. He likes the haunted night stuff, but the vow renewal, he'll be like, nah, I don't want to do it. We already did it once in Vegas in front of the Vegas sign with Elvis. That one was like our first 5-year wedding anniversary. So that was, to me, that was really fun. He looked uber uncomfortable. So this one, we're not going to have like someone actually doing it. We're just going to kind of do it, you know, talk to each other about, hey, we're still going to show up. Do you? Yes. Do I? Yes. I'll probably do most of the talking. He'll just nod his head and say yes. And I'm okay with that. It's good. So I think we picked the winner here. I think that this is going to be the one for the haunted night. And again, I can't do like a makeup or costume. They don't allow you to do that because they want to be able to determine who is a team member and who is not a team member. So I guess I'm going to be not a team member. So I think this is the winner. So again, I know I can turn this one into a topper because if I look at the cap, there are these combs that are here that I'm going to get rid of. And it has a sturdy enough section for me to clip the clips in once I cut it. I'm going to do the same thing with this one that I did with the one that I just did, where I cut below the ear tabs on it, right? And I'm just going to take off that nape section and I'll look at it in the mirror and determine if that's enough. So I'll just do a couple down here, cut, 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 same as the other one. We'll see how it looks, we'll see how it feels, and I'll tweak it from there. So the goal is for you to figure out how to make this work for you, right? So take a cheap wig, take an old wig, you know, you got to figure out which wigs you can turn into topper based on the length and the density. So all of these are super easy to do that with because they're longer. If you have shorter wigs, it's a little harder, but you could still make it work. Just test drive it on an old or ratty wig, just to kind of get a feel for what you're doing. Don't do it on your $200, $300, $400 new wigs, right? Do it on one that you're like, the nape is all like nasty and like whatever. Cut that wig up and see how to make it work for you. So I think that was everything I was going to show you guys. I got to get back to my regular life, finish up the shipping from yesterday. Everything is packaged up. I have 2 outreach wigs, or a wig and a topper, going out today, in addition to the orders. You still have 1 hour to go back to the other live that I did yesterday to purchase before the cutoff. Anything after noontime will be a pre-order for when I get back. So you need this so much. So California is just too hot for me to wear wigs in the summer, right? This is just such an awesome hack, right? An awesome little tool in your toolkit to figure out how to make it more comfortable for you. Because honestly, having breathability down by my neck makes me feel so much cooler. And when I can twist it and pull it up and just cover this section with the hair and have the rest kind of sticking up in like a little waterfall thing, so much cooler, so much cooler. Or putting it into, you could probably put them into pigtails too. You could braid them down the side and everything. It's a game changer, guys. Honestly, game changer. So I hope that this helps a bunch of people. I'll be uploading this not very great quality video to YouTube so that other people can see how I do it. And if I film this, turning it into a topper, I will add that to the YouTube video and you can watch it there. So I will see you all once I'm on vacation. I'm not coming live again. But all of your packages are making it out the door today. So, yay! Hair mail for those that purchased. Let's see, there's 49 minutes left to go back to the other live, pick a wig, pay for it by 1 o'clock so I can package it up and ship it off to you guys before I go. And the pre-order stuff is up. Those codes are active. Pre-order 35 for the Aesthetica brands and pre-order 15 for the main attraction wigs. So beautiful. So many colors and styles to choose from. Wigs and toppers. Freaking awesome. I'm going to have so much fun on vacation. I'm going to take you guys along for some of it. I really can't wait. I can't wait. You're very welcome, Trish, because I know you've probably got some old ones you could turn into toppers, right? So fun. It's awesome. Like, confidence building once you learn to do some of this stuff, it's freeing. Honestly, it's freeing. And that is like one of the most important things to me. Confidence and feeling free and comfortable in my skin. The longer I go and the more that I do, the more strong and confident I feel in my journey. And it's also given me the ability to step outside my comfort zone so I can wear peach colored wigs, right? Because year 1, I had a lavender wig that I got in an outreach program because I couldn't afford anything. I wore that into the ground and then I passed it on to someone else, right? Beautiful. So I love you guys and I will see you soon. Wish me luck on the flight out of Boston tomorrow we're leaving here at 4:30 a.m. I think our flight is at like 7:30. Takes a while to get into Boston. You know, our house is protected by the dog and my brother-in-law and my sister-in-law will be here. So my home and business is all set. We don't have to worry about that. And my husband and I just going off to have a great time for our 20th couple anniversary and 10-year married anniversary. Here we go. Love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.